Good evening, all of you. Ever since in my capacity as Chairman Rajya Sabha, we passed the Women Reservation Bill in September 2023, providing for 1/3 of reservation for women in Lok Sabha and state assemblies. I am very fortunate. I am coming more frequently across institutions managed by women. JNU Vice Chancellor, I was there, happened to be a woman. Gujarat University Vice Chancellor, happened to be a woman. IIM, Bodh Gaya, woman. And now, not one but two. Very distinguished. Jayashree Mohta-ji, Chairperson, Board of Governors of Birla Institute of Management and Technology. Friends, you know it. She is an outstanding contributor to education system in the country. Now for over 4 decades, since 1980, she has exemplified with simplicity, modesty, and sublimity, focus in education at all levels, and spread out even in Tier 3 cities. That's the perfect concept of trusteeship, giving back to the society what you have been fortunate to get for yourself. I have no doubt, and we have a feel-good factor for BIMTech. Under her stewardship, this institute is bound to be on incremental trajectory. As Vice President of the country and Chairman Rajya Sabha, may I invite your faculty and your students to visit new building of Parliament, and we'll have the occasion to interact there also. I carry very fond memories of having had the honor to virtually participate during COVID era in 2 programs that involved her at the peak. And they reflected wisdom, knowledge, and our commitment to culture. Ma'am, I'm grateful for making available this great opportunity to me to be with you all on this occasion. Sri Vikas Kandoi, I have had instant connect with him. The young man should be taking the baton. With his passion and mission, I am sure the Institute will see the best of him and the best of contribution that is in need of contemporaneous times. Dr. Ajit Ranediji, Member Board of Governors, Vice Chancellor, Gokhale Institute of Politics and Economics, Pune. We have met before. Electrifying experience. Our relationship will continue to be nurtured either side. Your presence in the board means a lot. Dr. Prabina Rajiv, don't go by her simple appearance. She's a tough lady. You can't have an admission in this institute by patronage. She has demolished privileged pedigree. She accords admissions on merit and therefore may not be palatable to the segment to which I belonged at one point of time. But ma'am, carry on. We need it because for youth of this country, meritocracy has to prevail. And only meritocracy has to prevail. Sri Brijesh Singh Ji, Minister of State, PWD Government of UP, the largest state of the Union, Bharat, home to 1/6 of humanity. a state that of late has seen massive transformation and earned a name for itself, be it in defense exports, infrastructure, or quality of governance. I have given him a small homework, and I'm sure Brijesh will do that. I have told him I am in the habit of checking. And that's my message to the Honorable Chief Minister through him. Well, friends, my experience as Chancellor of several universities and also visitor by virtue of being Governor State of West Bengal. The registrar of every institution is spinal strength. The registrar helps in doing work or stopping it from being done. We have in Mr. A.V. Shukla a man who is always in affirmative stance, which results in wholesome governance of this institute. Shri Pankaj Priyaji, Deputy Director, BIMTech. Infrastructure is only one of the facets of an institution, and that is easily creatable these days. But the philosophy, the ethical standards, the directional approach is determined by the faculty. It's a delightful situation that BIMTech has enormously talented faculty, and that is the strength boys and girls will ever cherish. Your faculty, young friends, may have been tough on occasions, may have given you sleepless nights or pain in the neck on occasions. But all your life you will remember that their toughness was always for your advantage. Parents who may be present here, distinguished audience, and my dear boys and girls, the students of BIMTech. For me, it's a great pleasure to be at the 36th convocation of the prestigious BIMTech. So this is an institution where the chairperson, Jayashree Mohta, is taking forward legacy of a family that has contributed in field of education selflessly, has always been on the guard to see that it does not graduate to commerce. And therefore, I have no doubt that the Institute, in changing times, will change for the better, grapple with the opportunities that lie ahead. Friends, there is obvious expectation from anyone in a convocation when he or she delivers an address. That's very tough. It's a tough challenge. What advice need to be given? What suggestions to be made? They expect pearls of wisdom to emanate from the speaker. I would make a modest endeavor. I seek to focus, in particular, on contemporaneous ground reality and how your adventurism henceforth be productive for you and our Bharat. My young friends, as graduates of this institution, you will now take a leap in larger public domain in full preparedness. Your degree requires you to be team players, problem solvers, possess presentation and communication skills. Besides having analytical mind, completing a program of this nature requires discipline, knowledge, and tenacity. You all have demonstrated this. My congratulations to each of you, to your parents, and to the distinguished members of the faculty. Friends, in whatever field you may seek to work, be it part of the developing India story or be contributing in global scenario, I can assure you the story is full of promise. We are in times where India is on the upsurge. India is a land of hope and possibility. Friends, the graduates could not have found a better time than now to take the larger leap. The next 25 years in our Amrit Kal, as Prime Minister has underlined, will define the position of Bharat in the global community of nations. Our strength is our youth. You are the most vital stakeholders in governance in the future. You are possessed of high qualifications. You have been nurtured well. You have been enabled to contribute the very best for the nation, for the society, and for yourself. I have no doubt you are future leaders of this country, the creators of positive change, driving economic, technological, and social progress. Friends, I was a young person at one point of time. So were others here, faculty members. But we had an ecosystem that was troubling, that was painful. We were having a difficult terrain. We did not see light at the end of the tunnel. You are very fortunate. You are living in Bharat that is on unprecedented exponential rise. This rise is unstoppable. Take, for instance, our economy. In 1989, I was elected to Lok Sabha from Jhunjhunu, a constituency which the family has well nurtured in academic field. My young friends, you may not be aware, I was a minister also then. The size of Indian economy in 1990 was smaller than the size of economy of cities like London and Paris. Can you imagine? That was the time to sustain our global credibility when our foreign exchange was fluctuating around $1 billion. Our gold in physical form had to be taken, to be placed in 2 Swiss banks. And where are we now? Unbelievable, spectacular progress has taken place. During your school days, just a decade ago, India was counted globally as part of fragile 5 economies. An economy that was cause of concern not only to the nation, but to the global fraternity. Just in a decade, facing headwinds, negotiating difficult terrain, coming out of mood of despondency, India has emerged as the 5th largest global economy. We are ahead of Canada, Brazil, UK, and France. Friends, in next 2-3 years, our Bharat, home to 1/6 of humanity, the mother and oldest democracy on the planet, civilization ethos of more than 5,000 years, would be number 3 global economy ahead of Japan and Germany. This is the ecosystem you will be facing outside. Friends, all these developments were unthinkable when I was young. All these developments I could not even dream of. I could not aspire. For you, this ecosystem is ground reality. Friends, I had indicated I'll be saying how this institute has to change, keeping in the need of times. Disruptive technologies, we have to live with them. They have become part of life, part of your office space where you will be going in corporates or having your own startups. artificial intelligence, Internet of Things, machine learning, blockchain, and the kind. They offer challenges, they offer opportunities. It is expected of you to be abreast of the latest technology, employ it for national gain, and you'll be surprised pleasantly that India is amongst few countries in single digit that are focusing on quantum computing, with already an allocation to the Commission of 6,000 crores. For people like you who will be going to corporates, be part of management, the green hydrogen mission with allocation of 19,000 crores is already in place. It has potential, my young friends, by 2030 to generate employment of 6 lakh people with investment of 8 lakh crores. You have to be the real players in game. Let me come to 6G. People of my generation think 5G and 6G is part of using a mobile phone. But you know it. It's a great commercial activity, a great potential. India is among few countries that will be taking on commercial utilization of 6G from 2025 to 2030 in phase 2. Friends, this is a big change. And you have all the possibility, potential to exploit it for your gain, for gain of your family, your friends, society, and the nation at large. This is a big change. The second big change, a transformational welcome change, equality before law. There was a time people thought we are above law. We are beyond the reach of law. We are not accountable to law. Just imagine how painful it will be for young minds that in a democracy where they are living, they are breathing, right to equality is eluding them. Now those who thought they are privileged pedigree, those who thought they are beyond the reach of law, the long arm of law is around their neck. There's a ground reality. That's your greatest benefit, that you have equal rights, equal accountability. Earlier you had equal rights in measure, but there were others who could steal mileage over you. No longer patronage, nepotism, favoritism can be password for a contract opportunity or a job. Meritocracy alone prevails. Transparency and accountability are the new norms. This is another big gain you have seen. Friends, a third, and that is very vital for young minds like you. Nothing worked without corruption. Power corridors were infested by liaison agents, power brokers. There was extra legal leveraging of decision making. But now those power corridors have been sanitized. There is zero accommodation for corruption. And this goes to the advantage of nationalist people, people who have love for their job, for their country. There is nothing now that you will carry around your waist as dead weight while swimming in the larger domain after you have graduated from here. There is an ecosystem in place, and that system allows you to fully exploit your talent and potential, realize your dreams and aspirations. I am sure you will avail of the opportunity. Friends, there is manifestation of big policy changes, affirmative governance that gives us a feel-good factor. Our nation is being recognized globally for the progress we have registered. The world bodies, there was a time used to caution us, as they are cautioning our neighbors. But now they are showering accolades on us. IMF has indicated India is the fastest global economy in terms of GDP growth when it comes to large economies. We are the fastest, ahead of any other country in the world at that stage. We are the hot favorite destination of investment and opportunity. And look at the kind of digitization we have had. Transformative change, unthinkable for a nation that lives largely in villages. 500 million bank accounts have brought about a transformative, unprecedented banking inclusion. Our digital penetration has been acclaimed by the World Bank as a model for others. That what Bharat has achieved in 6 years is normally not achievable even in 47 years. Friends, we have demonstrated to the world that Indian human resources are genius, and those of you who will be taking a leap know more than I do. There is hardly a corporate in the world that is not benefiting from Indian genius, coming from institutes like you. But the recognition has come now. And I would therefore urge you to be partner, to be part of India's growth story. Our economy is heading north. And I have no doubt this trajectory will be sustained by people like you, boys and girls. The world has come to know India's presidency of G20. We gave to the world a message of peace, harmony, cultural depth. Look at the motto of G20 we had. One earth, one family, one future. Reflecting what is there in our scriptures, Vasudev Kutumbakam. Friends, when a rise like this happens, our success is not digestible in certain quarters. They exist within the country and without. As young minds, you have to be extremely alert. You are discerning minds. Your stakeholder in governance is more than anyone else, given your age profile. And therefore, when you see anti-India narratives, when there is an effort, a mischievous one, to denigrate our institutions, to tend to tarnish our image, our silence is no longer desirable. If young minds, impressionable minds, do not act at the moment, their inaction and silence will resonate in your ears in times to come. I have no doubt India is on the rise primarily because of its youth dividend, because of the people like you who are skilled, trained to contribute to the growth trajectory in any manner you feel appropriate. Friends, we all are part of marathon march of Bharat for Viksit Bharat 2047. ये हवन है, ये बहुत बड़ा यज्ञ है। इस यज्ञ में सभी को आहुति देनी है, सभी का योगदान है। उसी की वजह से 2047 में जब भारत आजादी का शताब्दी पूर्व मना रहा होगा, जब यज्ञ संपन्न होगा, पूर्ण आहुति दी जाएगी, भारत विकसित देश होगा, and you will be in your prime. You will see Bharat in absolute glory, a glory that was there thousands of years ago. Bharat, home to knowledge and wisdom, home to culture, as no nation can ever claim. And therefore, I would make some suggestions to you. Those are the suggestions which you alone are in a position to translate into action. My first suggestion, look at our trade deficit. More than 100 billion in some countries. What are we importing? We are importing items that are avoidable. We are importing items that are made in this country. We have a concept of being vocal for local, Swadeshi. It pains my heart, so would yours. We are importing kites, diyas, candles, furniture, curtains and the kind. And we are doing it for one reason. Some people who import these items manage to make easy money the cozy way. But look at the pain they inflict on Bharatma. Our precious foreign exchange in billions is drained out avoidably. We are snatching hands from our people who could make these items. We are blunting entrepreneurship of people like you who can engage in these activities. I therefore urge all of you to nurture economic nationalism, to ensure that this spirit of economic nationalism is deeply embedded in your mind, in your thought process. You will have multiple occasions to do it when there will be emergence of an ecosystem that yes, we shall always keep interest of the nation before any other interest. I can't conceive of any fiscal gain of any dimension whatsoever. The figure may be astronomical in terms of gain. No fiscal gain can be justified when you compromise economic nationalism. Take it as your motto. Friends, I am perturbed, disturbed, when I go to some ports. Our raw material is being exported as such. We are not adding value to our raw material. We are doing the same three things. One, we are declaring to the world we are unable to add value to our raw material. The situation is we have capacity to add value. But then somehow, control of the raw materials, they take the easy route. Why should I engage into value addition? You must, because it will generate employment. It will generate entrepreneurship. For the same reason, I urge you, appeal to you, to kindly promote value addition in the country. The value addition must be effective. And that, I am sure, will have deep impact on our economy. Friends, you are at a time when you will step out of the country, your passport will speak for yourself. In the Global Committee of Nations, people will confer with you because you are an Indian. They will try to find out from you what opportunities they can have this country. A situation which people of my generation could never even imagine. Friends, when you are living in such a Bharat, you need to put your very best. You have the capacity, you have the opportunity, and the challenge. This is the time for you all to be vigilant, effective partner of Marathon March of Viksit Bharat 2047. And let me tell you, my young friends, never have tension, never have stress, never fear failure. If Chandrayaan 2 was not there, Chandrayaan 3 would not have made history. Chandrayaan 2 was not failure, it was major success, but not 100%. So every failure is a stepping stone to success. Historically, heavens have never fallen. Why fear them now? Why would they fall for you? And there is never the last opportunity. Because if I may be allowed to quote one of the Greek philosophers, pre-Socrates philosophers, Heraclitus, he said, the only thing constant in life is change. He further reflected, the same person cannot step into the same river twice, because neither the person will be the same, nor the river will be the same. So you have before you new vistas of opportunities. You have to grab them, and I have no doubt you will make your family, your faculty, your friends, and the nation proud. Of the many inspiring thoughts bequeathed to us, I will end by quoting Chanakya, who said, education is the best friend. An educated person is respected everywhere. You have got it. You are possessed of this ornament. I'll end with another quote from Swami Vivekananda. What he focused on? Swamiji laid considerable emphasis on the importance of persistence and relentlessness of one's goals. Swami taught us never to be disheartened. And all this was captured in what he said, I quote, arise, awake, and stop not till the goal is reached, unquote. Ma'am, I am grateful for the opportunity you have made available to me. I am particularly grateful that there is on the dais the next generation who will ably take your baton also. And that will see a big change in the entire working of this institute that has an excellent principal, director, an illustrious board of governors. My best wishes and good luck to all of you. In this, please don't forget my invite. You are welcome to visit new building of Parliament as my guest, and you all shall be taken around. Thank you so much. I'm grateful.